Hello everybody, Gorillaz up here back with another video. Today I'm making a video I've been wanting to make for so long, but today I'm finally being able to. Since the last time we talked about, the Gorillaz toys, figure line, and the Gorillaz scrapped film Celebrity Harvest, I think it's time we talk about another real thing in the band's discography. This time about the live tours. This is gonna be great, guys. So we got from, of course, Gorillaz Live from the self-titled album, Demon Days Live, Escape the Plastic Beach, Humans Tour, the Nano Tour, and the most recent Song Machine Live. We're gonna get into all of those in this video, but I'm gonna give you a little quick game of a little guess, if you will. So before we get into the Gorillaz Live Tour for the first one, I'm gonna ask you this question. If you answer it right, then congratulations, you win this pretty great video. But if you lose, your punishment is to subscribe to the Gorillaz sub channel, or to have weekly Gorillaz content placed into your YouTube feed. Now, for Gorillaz Live in the first album, on tracks with Clint Eastwood and Rock the House, who did the vocals for the entire time. For the live performance, was it A, the Funky Homo Sapien, who did it on the album, or B, V-Live Cypher? So, I'll give you about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is V-Live Cypher. So if you answered Dell, you know what you have to do. Hit the subscribe button and press the notification to get some Gorillaz content into your YouTube feed and join us in the ultimate join of the beautiful fandom of Gorillaz. So, at the time of March of 2001, you got, the self-titled album coming out in a few weeks, and 2 hit singles. What's one to do? Well, start a live show. So, the live shows are very different from they are nowadays. And doing this sort of thing is kind of easy nowadays for, like, a virtual band. All I gotta do is just use some CGI, make a pre-recorded live performance of a band using pre-recorded audio, and then using that, project it onto a black film screen using holograms. But in 2001, the technology was not there at the time. Well, it kind of was, but it was also fucking expensive as hell. Like, really expensive. So they couldn't really do that. So they had the best idea next, putting it all on a screen. During the old Gorillaz live shows for the first album, each song had a bunch of live visuals, shows that would be portrayed on the screens as it would always flash up, show us that. It was a great idea and a great concept for it, which worked pretty well. Now for the band, with the live band, we have kind of a mix of new and old faces when it comes to the whole thing. Of course, we have Damon Albarn doing the vocals. That makes all the sense for it. Also lead vocals, keyboard, rhythm guitar, piano, and acoustic guitar, and of course the melodica used for songs with DeMarco Zidane and Clint Eastwood. Junior Dan, who was a old school reggae bass player, he worked with greats like Bob Marley and such others. This was the bass player. He worked on a few songs of the album, and I already knew Damon at the time, so it was pretty work. Roberto Ocapiti, he had replaced Junior Dan as in a Canadian gig in the first Canadian gig in February 2002. Junior Dan got apprehended and arrested for firearm and drug charges from back in the day. And this is for the only North American tour where Roberto replaced Junior Dan, and they would actually learn the entire song list in a matter of one day, which is very impressive. So Simon Katz, he was lead guitarist of the band. The live band, it was really good at what he did. He also supplied backup vocals as well. Cass Brown, being one of the most infamous parts of the whole band at that time, he also, not only did he provide the drums for the album and the band, I think the drums, I could be mistaken wrong. He also went ahead and he was also with Jamie writing all the promotional stuff for Gorillaz, like interviews and biographies and Razzie Yoga. So he was already new with that. Mike Smith was a keyboard player, was keyboards on it. We had this guy named Darren Goulet who was actually on the turntables. Like I said, V-Live Cypher, they did their vocals for Clint Eastwood and Rock the House, as they had actually done a version of Clint Eastwood before Adele, which we'll make a video about sooner or later. And in the American tours, we had Jamal Gray, also known as the Last Emperor, where he was doing that for the North American tour with Clint Eastwood. And rarely, this first time showing performing live, the Gorillaz track 911 with D12, had D12 there. Well, of course, Eminem. We also had Sweetie Eerie, See, RES, he did his vocals on the refix, which was then brought in for Clint Eastwood. But Haruka Koda, that was the speaking voice of Noodle in the G Bites. So she was kind of new. She was used to the band stuff. And now she was basically sort of quote Noodle, the group. When you think about it, like, it's not only did she voice Noodle in live performances, they gave her a replica of Noodle's helmet and an unplugged guitar to make it seem the band was really real. And she would talk as Noodle during little intermissions. So thanks to that, they got the whole thing in there. And sooner or later, live shows, I think it was like only one or two, they actually got all the voice actors to do their voices. What's his name? Remy Kabaka Jr. as Russell, Phil Conroy as Noodle, Phil Conroy as Murdoch, and Nelson Freitas as 2D, his OG voice. It was actually a really great idea for that. And that was like the first time we've ever heard 2D swear in a song, swear in anything before. Or during, I think, was it the intermission for Punk, 2D, it literally says how I'm gonna do my 2D. I think I need to change my pants up for that. That was fucking loud. Woo! And it's honestly so weird hearing 2D say fuck when he's usually just a calm dude. But it's so fucking funny though. Imagine that, just in the back of the stage, 2D saying on a microphone. That was fucking loud. Woo! Oh, it was great. The first ever gig for Gorillaz at the time was on March 22nd, 2001, with at the Scala venue in London. And this was actually this was made a few days before Subtitled album came out in March of 2002, March 22nd of 2001. And that was actually a really great time to start doing that as it came out. But the set list for that one consists of M1A1, Tomorrow Comes Today, Slow Country, 5-4, Starshine, Research Copper, Soundtrack Gravity, Latin Simone, Rehash, Clint Eastwood, Rock the House, Dracula, 2000, Punk, and the Sweetie Eerie version of Clint Eastwood as an encore. Now for the visuals, with the logistics of an animated band was kind of problematic at that time. Jamie said during a 2001 interview, "We've come to realize that we've come up with something that's a bit ahead of its time, and the technology doesn't exist to do anything that we want to do. So the live show was something we really had to think hard about as a compromise, having a live and virtual stage presence. As the band's musicians played behind a giant cinema screen, which projected music videos and visuals to the crowd. Lead singer Damon Albarn expressed discomfort at the setup, confessing that he was frustrated on the screen. The screen. Later still, Albarn called the screens obtuse, believing that the human element of the band necessitated to change. In 2010 interview, Albarn voiced distaste at the idea of hiding collaborators behind the screen on the upcoming Escape the Plastic Beach tour. I couldn't entertain the idea of putting Lou Reed or Bobby Womack on the screen. I'm not that daft. Gorillaz Live was ultimately the only tour that the musicians silhouetted on the screen. Yeah, that is true. Demon Days Live switched out all the collaborators, went up in front of the screen, and they even did that with one of the events in the gigs. I can't remember which one though. So with that, our first Scala gig, it was pretty well done, really. They were doing the hell out of that. Second gig being in the French country of Paris, France, in the La Siga venue. This one is also done pretty well as well, I believe. This gig's freaking listings consisted of M1A1, Tomorrow Comes Today, Slow Country, 5-4, Starshine, Man Research Clapper. Basically the same thing, except now with 2000. Then the next venue was in Dublin, Ireland. Now there's not really much about this gig you can find online. But even in Murdoch sang in Razi Yoga, "I don't remember playing this gig at all." Oh. Then in Asia, then in Japan, the home of Noodle herself, they played two gigs, one in Osaka and one in Tokyo. Yeah, these gigs actually went pretty good. There's actually footage of it you can find on the Bananas Documentaries DVD special features. Then they went back to the UK to perform 4 gigs, one in August and 4 in September. 5 gigs. There was one in the Liverpool and Creamfields, the Edinburgh Recording Exchange, the Cairn Academy Birmingham, the Manchester Academy, and the Forum in London. The Forum venue is one of easily the most popular Gorillaz Live things from back in the day, as it is not only some of the few that does not have any video footage of it, but it's actually one also have clear as hell audio, which makes it so much better. The Forum London gig also gave us 2D swearing in that one. And like I said, the one I just did twice. I think I need to change my parts. Oh, that was fucking loud. Woo! It is so fucking dumb, but it was so worth it. And it's a shame it's only audio only. If we could find the video for that would actually be really great. Right. Then, a couple months later, the time took a little bit of time to chill. Until 2002 when they did the North American gigs. And like I said, the Canada one, when we got Roberto to replace Junior Dan as in Canada, he was operating the wrestling. It was truly saddening to see him go, but I think there was a song with 2017-19 with him on Gorillaz that he apparently did with them. I don't know if that's exactly true, but it's gonna be kind of cool to see him come back after all those years. This came out to be based on another album. That actually really worth it. So then in Boston 2002, we got, the Boston Geeking Alpha Ballroom in Washington, D.C., the 930 Club, the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City on February 28, 2002, March 1st, 2002 in Philadelphia, the Electric Factory, the Argonne Ballroom in Chicago, the Paramount Theater in Seattle, San Francisco at the Warfield at Seattle, Los Angeles at the Hollywood Podium, and Mexico City in Mexico. It's called Palacio de los Deportes. There's also on the Isle of MTV gig in Portugal. This is mostly a special one as the collaborators actually came out. We're outside with that, and Fila Cypher was there to do verses on 2000 Push at the House, and also their own version of 911, which wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. But Fila Cypher is actually really good with Gorillaz. And with that concludes Gorillaz Live. Now let's get into the second one. Demon Days Live was the second gig the band ever did. And it started in November of 2005, so around the time the second album was coming out. It was a really great time to do that, as it made sense. The album was released in May of 2000, so it made sense, 2005, so it made sense to give it a live tour. It's kind of limited. There are in total 10 gigs, with 5 gigs being played the exact same places. With the set list being of the entire Demon Days album, the intro, Last Living Souls, Kids with Guns, Old Green Roll, Dirty Harry, Feel That Ink, El Mañana, Every Planet We Reach Is Dead, November Has Come, All Alone, White Light, Dare, Fire Come Down the Monkey's Head, Don't Get Lost in Heaven, Demon Days, and an encore featuring Hong Kong and Latin Simone. Latin Simone was used as a sort of, as a memorial and remembrance, if you will, of Ibrahim Frefa. I think I butchered his last name, I'm sorry for that. He did the Spanish version of Latin Simone, but could not come back to it as he sadly passed in 2005 due to heart failure. I think that's how he passed, I can't remember. May he be missed in all of our hearts. Rest in peace to a legend. So there was a total of 10 gigs, and 2 of them only exist. Both of those started in 5 places. The Manchester Opera House gig from November 1st to November 5th, 2005 at the Manchester Opera House in the UK. Then in the US from April 2nd to April 6th, 2006 in New York City at the Apollo Theater in Harlem. Now, Demon Days Live is the only one that's actually... This is the only Gorillaz Live album... Gorillaz Live thing that's been ever released officially, fully. Yes, not only is Demon Days Live has a DVD, which I actually own, by the way. I'll show a photo of it in a minute. Here's a photo of it right here. It also was on Spotify in 2011. So you can get it on Spotify, but you cannot get it on Apple Music, though. But it was honestly pretty cool, though. And for some reason, and during the performance, there were these little 2 puppets of Murdoch and 2D that were used. Here's a photo of them, and they look fucking terrifying. And I'm pretty sure they're gone now, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were not. So with our live band, of course, Damon Albarn on vocals, piano, and the melody. Got Mike Smith coming back to do keyboard. Simon Tong and Simon Jones both doing guitar. Looks like new faces. Morgan Nichols on bass. That's pretty basic. It's kind of Darren Glay guy who did, I think it was someone that worked with Space Monkeys. He does Turntable One Time, Cass Brown back with the drums. Got Carl Vaden Boche, say it with percussion. Wayne Hernandez, Charlene Hector, Rosie Wilson. Also did the voice of Dare, the voice of Noodle with Dare on that one. Wendy Rose and Aaron Sosko, all as backup vocals. You know, we got Isabel Dunn, Dan Keene, Dan Kenny, Deborah Chandler, Emma Smith, Emma. Those are, you know, cello and bass. There's Amanda Drummond, Mia Kapitsky, Gary Pomeroy, or, you know, these, and, you know, Antonia, Jennifer, and Christine. I can never pronounce the last name, so I'm sure butcher them. All on viola and violin. You know, of course, we got our guest collaborators: Nina Cherry on Kids with Guns, Booty Brown with Dirty Harry, De La Soul with Feel Good Inc., Ike Turner with Every Planet We Reach Is Dead, MF Doom, rest in peace, on the vocals for November's Comedy video only. Roots Manuva and what's the name? Latina Topley Bird on All Alone. Rosie Wilson and Sean Ryder on Dare. And here's the funny thing with it: go watch like the Demon Days. Go look at it live in general. Dare performed live. It feels like Sean Ryder is fucking drunk, and which makes those gigs so hilarious. Cause I showed my friend who also likes Gorillaz. I showed him Dare live, and I said, bro, he low-key sounds like a drunken idiot. And that's what made it so fun. That's what makes it so funny to listen to it live. They got Dennis Hopper, who rest in peace as well, who did the vocals on Fire Coming Out of the Monkey's Head for New York's date only, though. He was on freaking he was on visuals only, pre-recorded audio. Yeah, which I actually use for Dell nowadays when he's not there to perform most of the time on the song. Got the I don't even know how you pronounce her name. Was it Zhang Zing? I don't try to pronounce it. I'm not trying to sound racist. On Hong Kong, and of course Ibram paid for video only for lots of money. Okay. Demon Days Live marks the first Gorillaz concerts where the bands was, you know, in full view for getting rid of that whole behind the screen setup. And it was a pretty good idea for it. But as it was just covered in silhouettes. They were covered silhouetted, which makes it look really dope. And with dim lighting and colorful back paneling, it looked really cool. It's pretty actually cool with that. It was a good idea. And with that, we've talked about Demon Days Live. Now let's move all the way up to 2010, where we go to the Escape the Plastic Beach tour. Now, a little fun fact about the tour. All you hardcore Gorillaz fans know that the underrated album The Fall was actually recorded during the tour, or on Damon's Albarn's iPad, which is kind of funny when you think about it, that the album was made on an iPad, but I guess it's still pretty good though. Like I wouldn't be lying if I told you a couple of songs that were made on the playlist. Just because The Fall is low-key underrated, but it's absolutely a gem in Gorillaz livelihoods. As this tour went on from about October 3rd, 2010 to December of 2010. There was a total of 37 shows, which makes it the biggest Gorillaz live show? I could be. No, I'm wrong. I'm definitely wrong. But it's close to it, you know. So again, we got some new and old faces. Of course, Damon Albarn and Kaz Brown and Simon Tong, and Mike Smith all be coming back to do, vocals, drums, and guitar and keyboards. They've been coming back for years now. We also got some new bass players, a new bass player, rhythm guitar, lead guitar, some new people. You know, we got that. We have this one who Gabriel Wallace, who actually replaced Cass Brown during the Humans tour as he stepped down. He played drums with Cass around the time with that, so it kind of makes sense for him to take an honor of him, as he actually does it really well, which makes it so much better. Don't you agree? So we had him, Jesse Hackett on keyboards, backup keyboards, I believe, Mike Jones, Jeff Wooden, and Paul Simon on bass, rhythm, and lead guitar. Did it really great. We have the guest collaborators, Kane on Bashu did White Flag and all versions on Eastwood. With Mos Def on Stylo, Lone Sweepstakes, Lou Reed on, Some Kind of Nature, Bobby Womack, Stylo, Clown, working even Demon Days. There's Nano Tour came out for Kids with Guns, Booty Brown, Dirty Hair and Stylo. MF Doom came out for November Has Come on select dates, and even did a version of Clint Eastwood. Miho Hattori actually came out to do a Night 2000 song. Yukimi Nagado, of course, on Empire Nights into Binge, De La Soul, Feel Good Inc., for Jellyfish, Daily, an absolute underrated artist on Don Chromatic, an absolute underrated song from him. Marquis Smith on Glitter Freeze, Rose Grabber on 2000, and Dare. That was actually pretty cool with it. We had it, this was actually really dope with it. He skipped the Plastic Beach Tour also featured new music videos or visuals on the big screen in the background. That was the biggest thing with it. Some visuals actually got pretty upgraded. Last Living Souls got like a whole ass new look for it, which was actually a really cool idea. That was actually a really good idea, given a new one. Even Punk got performed, which is pretty dope. Oh, but the live visual is so good, but it's just a problem with the song. And let me tell you something. If you like go to Gorillaz, those live shows, Punk is so weird, like performed live. It's mostly because Damon changes the lyrics in songs. That's basically known with the live bands that Damon will change up the lyrics. For example, Phil Goodink has the beginning lyric, city breaking down on a camel's back, you just have to go because they don't know whack. Most of the times you will hear him say you just got the goalie because you don't know whack. Like, I know you feel the streets, it's just the pit and the meat. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense when he changes it up. And Punk is a big example of that. Most of the times, especially in the Plastic Beach Tour, it barely sounds like he's even speaking fucking English. Now, I know in the original song, 2D, he screams in the mics, you can't really understand him. But he's not screaming when you can't understand the basic English, Damon. And, I can give up. At least he's still, we can forgive him as he still actually played the fucking song. Most songs about the self-titled album barely get played anymore. Well, the only time you'll hear is like, it's 2000. It was Clint Eastwood and Tomorrow Comes Day. Sure, great tracks, and Tomorrow Comes Day made my #1 list. My top 40 Gorillaz songs. You actually found that video up by now. Either it's up yet or it will be up sooner or later, so we'll put in the card maybe. But it's not enough on the album. Self-titled album is like my favorite album of the band. Spoiler alert, let you know that. I would never do an album review, so to see that I only have 2 songs from it is low-key bullshit sometimes. Let's give us some more songs off it, honestly, I'll pay for that. We got the songs performed, 2000, Punk, all that off the self-titled album. Demon Days, Last Living Souls, Kids with Guns, Old Green Roll, Dirty Harry, Feel Good Inc. on Beyond, November Has Come, Dare, Don't Get Lost in Heaven, Demon Days. The only song on D-sides is freaking Hong Kong, G-side. Literally, I'm pretty sure the entire album, except for Pirate Jet at Plastic Beach, and then, of course, Don Chromatic. We have a bunch of venues here, a bunch of gigs from it, which are still very impressive. So I actually really like this stuff. The idea of having the band up in the front now is actually a really cool idea, and it goes into the lore as well. Well, as you know, at the time, Gorillaz were using like CGI animation, and then creating a whole 3D live performance would be so expensive when you think about it. So the better idea, which is to have a band up there, and Murdoch gets mad at that because can't perform the band, so they getting sidetracked. So they kept having to lock them in the dressing room to keep out. And I'm pretty sure that is where Murdoch 2D recorded The Fall. Oh, I made that statement in my video as well about the Fall for Girls. He had to record that. The dressing room, he's in there for the band for a long time. Where the bloody hell have you been? Toilet? What do you mean toilet? Where did that door come from? Like that. He had to have recorded The Fall in the bathroom. How did Murdoch not hear him? We don't know. So they just kept getting locked in. So Murdoch at this point just gets mad at it. Like, it just looked outside, pissed. Like, Gorillaz is not just daming up on his goons. It's us. My man just kept getting sidetracked by the real band here. Let's be honest here. I kind of feel bad for him, but not really though. So we had these gigs going from October 3rd, 2010 to November 3rd, 2010 to November 2010, all the way in these. There's also canceled shows in the U.S., Italy, but we're not gonna go into since they do not exist. So we got a gig in Canada, in Boston. We got dates in Canada, Boston, New York City, Camden, Fairfax, Detroit, Toronto, Chicago, Minneapolis, Houston, Great Prairie, Dallas, Austin, Texas, Austin, Denver, Phoenix, Los Angeles, San Diego, Auckland, Seattle, Vancouver. One of the most popular ones is in Paris, the La Musica gig. That's in France. The La Musica gig is actually one of the most known ones, as that's one that's the most recorded. And you can actually find La Musica gig fully on YouTube too, but I actually would suggest listening to it, as they have great versions of Clint Eastwood. And then Donkomatic too. Donkomatic is a fire song, and it needs to be performed live more, please. Please, next Gorillaz concert, contact her. For love of God, please do that. We got Dublin, I know we were covered, and Antwerp in Belgium. We got it in Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand. And that's all the gigs for Plastic Beach. Now we go into the Humans Tour. The Humans Tour, of course, is for the 5th album and my least favorite, Humans. And it was really cool for this. We got this personnel. Once again, Mike Smith coming back for keyboards. Damon Albarn, Jeff Wooden coming back. We got a new person for bass. What's his name? Seye Akinen. Just call him Seye this one. They can have an Gabriel Wallace, Jesse Hack. Yeah, most people coming back from that one, from the last few ones, and it's actually still great. But Vince Staples, who did Ascension, did a version of Clint Eastwood, which I'm not gonna lie is terrible. Dell would also come back for this, which will make it so much better. There are so many listings of cast, I cannot name them all too much. I would lose it. But nowadays, they just put the music videos and live bitch behind the screen. Did on the Escape the Plastic Beach tour. It's less interesting, I guess, but it's still good all around. So we got the songs, of course, Rehash. From the first time we had Rehash, Tomorrow Comes Today, Clint Eastwood, Punk, 92001A1, The Fall, Revolving Doors. That's the only song on The Fall gets play live. Revolving Doors, Demon Days, Last Loving Souls. Basically the same thing from the Escape the Plastic Beach tour. So that's a necessity to play Phil Collins and Dirty Harry and freaking Clint Eastwood's Michael's Day. The girls like it. You don't, it just makes no sense. Talking from D-sides, Hong Kong's Mount the Demons, Plastic Beach. You just got Ryan Sonai, Stylo, Superfast Jellyfish, Empire Ant, Some Kind of Nature on Malachi Hill, Broken Sweepstakes, Plastic Beach, Cloud Never Knowing. In the Fall, Robotic Robinets, Humans, Ascension, Strobe Light, Giants Bars, Moments, Submission Charger, Andromeda, Busted in Blue, Carnival, Let Me Out, Sex Murder Party. We got the She's My Calling, we got the Power from the Now, Hollywood, and Idaho. That's weird, but okay. Bone Tricks, Garage Plays Out of Bodies, Sleeping Powder, and Ticker Date. Oh, look, and then in March 2018, so okay, I can see that. Again, same people from the last gig, nothing really changed that much. We go to, the set list. Oh, wait, I forgot to name the gigs for the human. It don't matter. The shit happened fucking everywhere, basically. No, that would just not fair. It's actually need a list of gigs. Can't be lazy. For all the gigs, these happened in Chicago, Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia, Quebec City, Colombia, Japan, South Korea, San Francisco, New York City, Detroit, St. Paul, Kansas City, Las Vegas, Denver, Seattle, San Francisco, Inglewood, Austin, was it Delia? Oh yeah, Miami, Austin, Dubai, Luxembourg, Austria, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, and Germany, Hungary, the Czech Republic, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, UK, Latin America, all that stuff. Uruguay, Argentina, Mexico, Chile, Colombia, Paraguay, and Brazil, all that stuff. But then, we got the Nano Tour with all the good stuff. We got all that good stuff right there. Then for the Nano Tour, for the songs performed, we have, of course, this time we got Len Simone with the also stuff in there. But Gorillaz said no, Rehash, Marcus Day, Clint Eastwood 92000, Let Somebody Have Anyone. Low Dub Chefin is actually there from Come On, that's interesting. Same stuff from Demon Days, always same things. Same stuff from the last one, Plastic Beach, Human, The Fall, Chi-Town, The Human, Strobe Lights, Hands Bars, there's Andromeda, Hallelujah Money, we got The Power. Now, Humility Trans, Hollywood, Kansas, Sorcerers at a House, Lake Search, Magic Fly, Magic City Fireflies, 1%, Sokai, Garage, same stuff from the last one. Even Song 2 from Blur, which is interesting. There's gigs in Germany, Ireland, Spain, Japan, Belgium, Poland, Denmark, Switzerland, Italy, Spain, another Switzerland gig, France, Ukraine, Russia, Hungary, the UK, Austria, the Netherlands, Canada, the US, and Mexico. And finally, we get to Gorillaz Song Machine Live. Due to the pandemic, Gorillaz could not play live unless they want to risk COVID and be seen as a bad band for that. So they chose the next best idea, doing it lively and virtually. It was streamed online. There were about 3 performances. It says one in Australia, New Zealand, North America, and South America, and UK and Africa. It's from December 12th to December 13th to 2020. For track lists, we got Strange Times, Values of the Pagans, Lost Chord, Pac-Man, MLS, It's the Pink Phantom, Opium, Aries, Dead Butterflies, Desolate, Momentary Bliss, Fire Coming Out of the Monkey's Head, with a new guy called Matt Berry. Right, that's new. Lost Loving Souls, Dracula, Don't Get Lost in Heaven, Demon Days, and the Sweetie Eerie, aka Sweetie Eerie refix of Clint Eastwood. And with all that is all of. Oh wait, we're forgetting one more. This was a little small Gorillaz live thing. The Demon Detour, and the iTunes session. These Demon Detour was this small little Gorillaz thing that happened outside. Not really virtual, but it was a live thing, on the radio. It was played on the radio, with a bunch of pre-recorded live stuff, and most of the ones from the self-titled album had from like old live shows from like 2001, 2002 sometimes. And it was with that actually was really good with that. That was a good idea on their part. Alright, but Demon Detour was like only the start of something big. It was actually a really good idea to do that. It's like, yeah, look, we got this now. This is cool, right? We did a whole like virtual little thing, just digital on the radio. On Demon Detour that gave us was Rehash 5-4, 2 Clips a Day, Clint Eastwood with Jamal Gray, and De La Soul and Boogie Brown. On 2 versions of Clint Eastwood on this. Punk, Soundtrack, Gravity, Starshine, Slow Country, Dracula, Lost Loving Souls, Kids with Guns, Dirty Harry, Feel Good Inc., El Manana, All Alone, and Dare. Here. And that was all done in 2005. So in June of 2005. Cool idea. And with that, we have the iTunes session last. The iTunes session is kind of lazy. See? The songs performed were Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, Feel Good Inc., Kids with Guns, Stylo, Glitter Freeze, All Melco Hill, Russell in an iTunes interview between 2D and Murdoch. That actually gave us some of the best moments between them. And a little banter. Now, Clint Eastwood's kind of lazy with Dirty Harry as well. Most of these songs just gave them like a whole refix. It was like, basically, for Dirty Harry and Feel Good Inc. and Clint Eastwood, I basically could not get any of the collaborators to do this, so most of them are just pre-recorded. It basically, Dells are just from the initial recording itself. That funny thing enough, the Demon Detours versus from friggin' De La Soul and Feel Good Inc. is actually used on this of the iTunes session. If you listen to both side by side, you can actually tell. Dear Lord. And with that, it was like, why would you do that? Glitter Freeze is a song that's not very appeasing in the ear, so you make it liver and louder, not very good. But it was kind of lazy, but it was good. It's still good. It was a good idea. It's good for its time. Didn't really do that much, except for give us a pretty good interview between 2D and Murdoch and a performer. But other than that, pretty good. So that has been the Gorillaz Live Retrospective. This has been the Gorillaz Hub. I'm 2D. Thank you for watching. Now, before we end it, I want to give a little announcement. I have videos that I want to make sooner or later that will be coming soon. I don't know when, but don't try to rush these videos coming out anytime. Editing takes a while. My homie is working his ass off editing for me still. I don't want to overwork him with videos. My man is already working on 2 videos for me. Well, when he gets it, I'll tell him, like, bro, just give yourself some time, man. Don't really need like a real full thing. Just give yourself some time. I don't want to overstress him, overwork him. You know what I'm saying, G? That would be a bad look on my part. I would not really want that. That's something I don't want. Like, I'm sorry, do not overwork yourself. Before we end this off, I actually want to show. I want y'all to listen to the 2D thing. I want y'all to just listen to this. It's so funny. Here it is with the feedback.
I think I need to change my pants after that one. That was fucking low.
Honestly, great, bro. So yeah, this has been a Gorillaz 2D. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.